Yes. Some number. It doesn't have to be a perfect square. Yes. So this is the setup for the square root property, if you want, or method, whatever you want to call it. So I will take the square root for both sides. And the left-hand side, power 2 over 2, that's the index 2. If you remember, if I want to change it into a power, it's 2 over 2. So this is 2x plus 7. Remember, I have to get two solutions. When I take the square root of 36, this is always 6, not plus or minus 6. But I know that the left-hand side comes with plus or minus. Why? We're going to talk about the absolute value a little bit later, and I'll explain more why we have plus or minus. But again, the plus or minus do not come from this side. They come from this side. So this is 6. Can I solve this? Sure. I will move 7 to the other side. I will divide both sides by 2. This is easy. Negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1 divided by 2. Negative 7 minus 6 is negative 13 divided by 2. Done. Very elegant by comparison to the problem that we just looked at. Very elegant. So, only in this setup, when I see something squared with x on the left-hand side and no x on the other, notice that I put just a number. If I have number times x, no, I cannot use this method. But as long as I have something squared on one side with x in it and just a simple number on the other side, I can apply the square root property and I'm done in a blink. Real or imaginary, it doesn't matter. So this is a nice method. It's not always applicable, however. So let's look at a few examples. Okay, the most efficient technique for solving this is by quadratic formula. It's not factorable. Quadratic formula. Absolutely. Okay, I just want to solve the equation by the method of your choice. Let's look at that. Will I factor? No. What will I do first? Look at this equation and say, I want to make it simple. How will I make it simple? What should I do to both sides immediately? That will not change anything. It will not change the solutions. How will you simplify this equation immediately?
Divide by 5.
Of course. I will immediately divide both sides by 5 and get x squared equals, what is it? 16? What am I doing? 40.
14, right? Never mind, it's 16. Yes.
Okay, good. So now it's very clear with which method I would like to use, because 18 is not, if I move it here, I cannot factor it. So factoring is not a good idea, because I can't factor a square minus 18. So then which method do you think we should apply here? This is a perfect square with x in it. There is no x on this side, and there is just one number. What should I do? Anyone?
Square root.
Exactly, exactly. Do not forget to write plus or minus. The plus or minus come from this side, not from the square root of 18. How will I present the square root of 18 so I can fully simplify it? What times what will be 18? One is a perfect square, the other one is not.
9 and 2.
Exactly. And what do I replace this by?
3.
That's it. So the final answer is plus or minus 3, the square root of 2. Again, read the fine print so you don't lose points and you don't have to do the problem again. So let's read the fine print. Simplify your answer. Thank you. We did. Type an exact answer. We did. Using radicals and I as needed. We did. Use integers or fractions for any numbers in the expression. We did. Use a comma. Okay. So just reading the requirements is more difficult than doing the problem. Okay, they want a comma. It's the next one is minus, and it's 3, and it's the square root of 2. And I press check. Any questions on the square root property? I will not use the square root property here. It's not possible because I don't have a perfect square on the left. Let's think about this. Yes, this one is factorable. So this is easy to factor. 100x squared minus 49 equals 0. But it can also be solved using the square root principle. So which one you prefer? The factoring or the square root?
Square root.
Yes, I completely agree. We move 49 and we divide by 100. And look at this. And I'm done. Don't forget plus or minus. We need 2 solutions. It's quadratic. What will you write as the final answer?
7/10.
That's it. And you're done. Can you factor? Yes. You will have 10x minus 7 and 10x plus 7 equals 0, and you still get the same answers. So when factoring is possible, I will factor. If it takes too long, I'll use the quadratic formula. If the equation is set up so then this is easier, I will use this. When will I use this? Never, unless you force me to. And it's an important method, however. We're going to use it in something else later. So we really need it. I ran out of time. I thought I was going to be able to present this tonight, but we have to leave it for Monday. But this, if it's quick. This, if I have no choice. This, if it's set up for the root method, for the square root method. This one, never, but we need it for a different situation. And yes, one last thing and I stop. So yes, I will use to double check this method with the apps. However, the apps will not give you a simplified form. It will give you solutions that are irrational numbers. And as you saw, they're requiring simplified forms. So you can still check with this, but you have to simplify it. So this section, which is practice 1.5, is not complete because I have not been able to finish completing the square. So do whatever you can from this and from the previous ones that we finished. But you can do the square root property in 1.5. You can work on the mixed, but not on completing the square. I did not get the chance to finish. But please finish the quiz immediately and turn it in. Okay? And you can finish this. You can finish 1.4. Unfortunately, you cannot complete the two parts of 1.5 because I have not finished completing the square. Skip over completing the square, and you can finish the rest. So what we have left before our first test, we have 1.6, which we completed. It's just a practice. This is simple. We do have another quiz. We do have rational equations and applications. We have rational exponents, which we already talked about today, the radicals. We still have some other types of equations that we will look at. We still have solving linear inequalities. There is another quiz and 1.11. And then we have the test. So I want to keep the test on the 17th. We may not be able to finish everything by the 17th. I always have at least an hour to review. Before every test, I review with you for an hour. So because I don't want to throw test one too far out in the future, let me stop this.